Hello, 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 everyone
Hi,
across
how you
the
doing?
across the globe. Welcome to Crossing Latitudes 2024 Brazil-Finland Game Jam. Although we do know that there are quite many participants also from other continents and other countries. So it's very, very exciting to be here. Hi, Natasha here. I will be one of the main hosts throughout the jam. So you will see and hear me also in Discord most of the time. But I promise I'm not going to spam with things other than oi and boy, hello, hello, and hi from Brazil and hi from Finland. We are hosting this from Finland at this moment, but quite many um, Brazilians are actually joining also throughout the stream in the next few days. And together with me here is Jani Grön from Finnish Game Jam. Hi, Jani.
Hello, how are you?
But you know that I'm chronically tired. That's just my regular state of mind. But hey, at least we're having fun as we are making games, and this jam is absolutely fantastic experience has been so far in the previous years, and we are so excited to have it growing each year. So yeah, Yanni and I are going to actually give you first of all a bit of kind of walkthrough of what Game Jam is. So let's look into that. So first of all, you're going to talk about what is a Game Jam because we know that there might be quite many who haven't jammed before. Are there any first-time jammers? Also, you can comment in on Twitch. Of course, I'm keeping an eye on the chat as well as Discord, so you can also put your comments in Discord as well. But yeah, first-time jammers, it's quite good to also, tell a bit what game jams are all about, and especially what to expect from this game jam. And then after that, we will go through schedule just to introduce, although all of this is available in Discord. And in case that any changes happen, time zones, whatever, something needs to be moved because, on streams and so on, then we will, of course, inform you in good time. And then we will give some more practicalities again, just to introduce you more. Yay, we have several first timers. Yes, welcome, welcome.
Nice.
That's the best. First time jamming is the best. I remember my first time. It is, oh, more first timers. Amazing. Because that is always the most exciting, kind of like really not expecting or not even being sure what to expect from the game jam. And of course, the most anticipated thing is the theme. Like, what is the subject of the jam? So let's start with this first, Yanni. Let's talk about what is a game jam overall. I mean, you're the president of Finnish Game Jam organization, so I guess like there's nobody else in Finland better to say what the game jams are. So
Well,
please, the stage is yours.
yes, thank you. That's way too much. Like, there's plenty of people like more qualified than me. But yes, I'll do my best to answer the question. Hi everyone, I'm Jani. And what is a game jam? That is such like a nice topic. Like a game jam basically is an event where you have a time limit and a theme, and you want to make games mostly, if not entirely, from scratch on that time. So you should do your best not to have any ideas before, because when you get the theme, that should be the catalyst that poof, something interesting will happen. And then you might go solo, you might have a pre-built team, or you make a team on the fly from in the event. That's also a possibility. But the goal is to take the theme and run with it and see where it takes you. Have fun, improvise. I think if you are fans of jazz, jamming is also the very same similar thing. So you follow a groove, you make a team, and you kind of like taste the theme. How does it feel like? What kind of emotions does it evoke? What kind of ideas does it bring to you? And then try to just have fun, learn, experiment. And it should be quite experimental in this way because you're not, of course, some practicality is necessary, of course, to get something done, but don't be too practical. Experiment, go wild, go nuts, have fun, and something interesting might happen. And you might have a total blast, like you might be laughing so much with your team, doing the craziest ideas, having the funniest game ideas on paper, and it might work out well or it might not. But most of the time, you will have an amazing event if you just put yourself into it and have fun, and don't be too scared to fail. It's part of the process, and just go out there and have fun and get some experience. I think that's what a game jam is all about.
Yes, and the failure actually doesn't really work at the game jam. I mean, there is no real failure,
Mm.
because no matter what you do, as this is not a competition, this is a community-driven event. I mean, most of the game jams are. And sure, some game jams can have, let's say, kind of voting, but it's also community voting to just kind of like give more like this sort of support for each other, like what games people enjoyed playing most. Because at the end of the jam, the idea is that you would submit your game jam game onto the platform. In this case, we are using itch.io, where you also register for the jam. So basically, that's where the one of your team members will be submitting the game, and all of these instructions will be shared in good time. I just don't want to start with that sort of, practicalities. That's something later, technical stuff that we will be helping you on when the time comes on Sunday. But overall, uh, the point is that no matter what you do, others will get a chance to play it, to experience it, and most important, like there's so many literally funny games out there just because things got broken, and by broken became a feature. So it's not even that, it's just like it's so it becomes the whole thing for the game itself. And that's the thing, just go with the flow, have fun. That's really the most important thing. And with the jams, like Yanni, you mentioned about how the team forming and so on happens. So at this jam, what to expect is that since we have 4 days jam, so we start now on Thursday evening, or kind of midday in Brazil. Most of the Finns, I can tell you, are like, so now for today and tomorrow, it's mostly again team forming, figuring out stuff, and so on. So we're giving a little bit extra time than usually, which usually we have like 48 hours jam, but now we are expanding it due to time zones. So to make sure that, especially because we encourage that people get make teams between two continents. So basically that there is no stress with time, and also there won't be any stress with submitting your game uh, by the deadline, so to say. I mean, we are gonna try to reach the deadline, but due to technical issues or something, like whatever may happen, there is no stress. We will either give you the, just a second, there is some beeping happening in my place. Can you hear that?
A little
Maybe.
bit.
Yeah, I think my daughter has been making something. So yeah, the point is that, at the end you will have uh, um, the team that would be working with you throughout the jam, and submitting the games will be also moved later, for possibly even by Tuesday late night or something like. So don't stress about it. Nobody will be left behind. That's the most important thing to know, especially in these jams that we do. We always make sure that, first of all, with team forming, of course you can work solo, of course you can work with specific people you are most comfortable with, but we encourage you to, even if you are not having other team members from, let's say, other countries, or from wherever, let's say even from the same country, but let's say as strangers, do network with other people in Discord, join in the discussions also here at Twitch, because what we are going to encourage you is that on Saturday and Sunday, besides the talks that we have prepared with our guests, we would really love to hear from you. So if anyone is interested to join the stream, tell about their game, share the screen and share the progress where they're at. This is something that we would really love to see. Otherwise, if you are shy, which is perfectly okay, you can also put in Discord, you will see the channel called Show Your Progress. So this is where you can submit things, and then I can just share and like show what people have been doing. So there is no reason for you to join in if you are too shy. But of course, we encourage you to just come say hello to the rest, rest of the jammers and the world. So yeah, game jam. Otherwise, in this case, is going to be, as I said, 4 days with kind of extended submission time, just to make sure that nobody is left behind. But otherwise, usually they have this sort of limited time, about kind of weekend, 48 hours usually, uh, during which time, but there are jams that can last a week or a month or many months. Like there are different jams and there are jams all the time taking place around the world. So also check those out. Each IO has the whole list of what's happening in the different countries and different jams. So yeah, explore. And for first timers, yeah, just follow the flow. There is no reason to have, and I mean, there is no uh, requirements, any requirement, previous knowledge or anything like that to join the jam. So Yanni, especially like any tips for the first timers because like it's usually kind of like can be a bit you know semi uncomfortable, but you're with fellow nerds here, you know.
Yeah, exactly. For first timers, I would say one like really simple things like if you probably played games, you probably know what can intuitively be fun and not. So maybe try design. You don't have to have that much technical skills and join a team and like tell them up front, hey, I'm kind of new. Can you like show me the ropes? I could have some ideas. I could assist. And usually people are totally fine with that. So just find yourself in a like a bigger team maybe and then like learn as you go, have some ideas, discuss, have conversations, and try to learn and absorb information. And then maybe after the jam, you'll be more equipped. Like, okay, now I understand things a little bit more. Maybe learning some programming if you're into that. Maybe doing some little bit of art. And then next time, like apply those skills. Like now you have a little bit more hard skills, and then next time you might be have a more active role. But I think game design is a nice entry point for, or maybe if you have some musical experience, you could try to do that. That's also one thing. But I think game design in this assistive role could be a really good like entry point for new people to try out jamming.
Absolutely. So, or just generally ideas, stories, anything like write the content for the game as such, and whatever works the best for you. The point is work with your team. One really beautiful thing I have to say about this kind of cross latitudes game jam, because we are from the completely different time zones, is that you can actually have pretty much progress, which is unique thing because when we have a jam in our at the same time in the same place, kind of like jammers, of course you should sleep, eat, rest, and so on. There is zero reason for you to do any extra push or like health and well-being comes first. So having time to rest, having time to take care of yourself or generally life outside of work and jamming. But here, as we have a big time zone difference, you can literally uh, delegate or as a team arrange so who is going to do what. So you actually have 24 hours development cycle, which is quite unique thing compared to because while let's say Brazilians would sleep, Finns can work and other way around, and then kind of like in between meet there and update each other and so on. So it can be quite nice this sort of share of load because games are like there's a lot of different things to think about when making a game, but at the same time, there are many tools. It has never been easier to make games without any previous experience whatsoever, even without knowing any coding. You can use visual scripting, you can use so many tools, and we will be posting these links and tools to Discord so that you can have free assets, free resources that you can use for your game of whichever genre you decide to make. Um, sure, we have a theme, and the theme serves as mostly inspiration. Don't take it by heart or to the heart. So whatever your ideas as a team and so on, you start going like go with it. Like a team is there to inspire, not to block you. That's the main thing. And we hope that also this year's theme will be inspiring enough that you can really go wild. So, but again, it is just like there to follow it to whichever capacity your team decides. So
Yes.
no restrictions there, as we really don't want to restrict anyone creatively or like technically which tools to use or anything. Just if you need any help, there are plenty game developers, professional veterans from the industry in the server with us. So there will be mentoring and helping around to whatever you just need to go to, need help kind of channel. So basically, you can also, and if you have any useful resources or any tips, please share for the rest of the jammers. They will definitely be useful and appreciated. Uh, by others. So yeah, let's share all the knowledge we have, all the, the good and bad practice inside is something that can be avoided also. So one thing, as said, as a bad practice that I would recommend to avoid is, not sleeping and pushing your limits. Don't do that. There is absolutely, like, your brain and everything. Like, sure, it can be fun for a while to kind of go further, but do take care of yourself. Make sure you drink enough water. Make sure that you eat. Make sure that you rest, because your brain will make even better things once it's rested.
Yes,
Um,
fully agree.
Yes, so that's something that we always encourage. But again, it's understandable that you're excited, whole team is excited, and you're just like going at it. Then of course, go with the flow. Nobody's gonna stop you to do so. Just remember to take care of yourselves. Um, Yanni, shall we go through schedule?
Yes, let's do
Yes,
it.
let's do it. So today, after this, so we are going through, as said, like schedule practicalities and so on, but basically and revealing the theme. So once we reveal the theme, we are going to a little bit chit chat here. So stay and chit chat about it. And also, overall, we encourage you to start thinking about what kind of games already would be like on your own, not yet even within the team, on your own. Because then what we are going to do in about like hour and a half or so, like basically we will give you time to also start thinking, also start already, if you have teams and so on, that we will be making sure that again, if anyone needs specific talent and so that we will help with matching, as well as generally team forming. So that is all going to happen in Discord. And after that starts the jam. And basically, we start kicking off making the games. Um, and then tomorrow, jam, jam, jam. Keep jamming, and whenever you can, however you can, because again, it is working day, so it's understandable that you have to do other things. So basically, just communicate with your team members how, where, and what, especially from different time zones. And then we will have. I know this is a little bit early, so basically it's going to be at 1 p.m. Central European Time or 8 a.m. So kind of morning stream for Brazil because of the kind of like time wise for the speakers that work the best. We will have a live discussion with Eliana Rusi, who was also yesterday at ours. So she will give a talk, like proper talk tomorrow. So she has dedicated session, and we will do a bit of kind of catching up what's happening in the jam and how things are going. And after that, continuous jam, 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 jam. But then Saturday, we have again more jamming, naturally, catching up on kind of how things, how is status of the teams and so on. But again, all of that happens in Discord because Discord is fully live and also will remain as a community also post jam. Like this is our server that we are using for this jam and will be ongoing for well years to come, hopefully, with more and more members every year. But then at uh, uh, this is quite early, I know, 10 a.m. Central European time. We are starting, which would be 5 a.m. Brazil. Again, sorry about that. I know but all of this is recorded. You will get all the links. We are just after this going to post both links from yesterday's discussions with our guests as well as this opening session. So you will have both of these videos to watch on from the YouTube link. And we will have two guests that we definitely, but there might be even some surprise guests joining in the afternoon. And then, of course, discussing with you, jammers, about your progress and where we are at on Saturday. And then Sunday, idea is that you start slowly finishing up the games, like pack it up, starting to pack up, which of course, that's when everything will collapse. We are used to that. Don't worry about it. This is how we roll. Um, and then we will help you with submission and so on. So basically, we are aiming to stop with the jamming around 3 p.m. Central European time. And then, of course, if you need to, like, it's flexible, but let's aim for this. That's the point. That is kind of where you should stop jamming and start to make videos, start to upload, and so on. And then from 5 p.m. Central European time or noon in Brasilia, we will have showcasing of the games and also hopefully some of you joining us as well to not just play the games but tell us about your experience and so on. And again, if not, it's perfectly fine. Nobody is going to be um, Yes. So Finland is using EEST time, so that's 1 hour ahead from Central European time. The reason why we put it Central European time is because we do have also people outside of Finland, outside of Brazil. So for mostly when we use with the events, we use Central European time as a generic time, as well as then Brasilia having their own, or for Brazil having Brasilia time. So yes, our time is Eastern summer time at the moment in Finland. So that would be 1 hour forward. So that would mean 11 a.m. in Finland, 5 a.m. in Brazil, or then on Sunday that would be 4 p.m. Finland, 10 a.m. Brazil. So just to give you that sort of like that we're using central time for generic announcements. But as you can see, like in Finland, we will also make sure if needed, we have noticed also from generally event organizing for many years that if you start adding these different times for different zones, people get even more confused. So let's go with the central, what everyone is using kind of in the general discussion. And then because it's also easier to convert it compared to kind of specific countries time. Because some countries are huge and they can have multiple time zones. So therefore, we really need to make sure that we have yes. Uh, so yeah, times are actually like in Finland, yes. But yes. So that's the thing. Sorry, I'm just been answering some chat questions. But yeah, that's the program, like official part of the program, and everything is going to happen in our Discord. That's basically how we are gonna roll. We have plenty of volunteers, plenty of moderators, and co-organizers who will be helping with anything you need. Just go to the basically help desk or anything like that if you need any help. This is where we will be like, or of course, the reason why, like if you're sending private message to any of us, because Discord sometimes, at least in my case, since I am part of many Discord servers and people send me a lot of private messages, unless we are friends, like connected in some kind of more official way, Discord started thinking that this is all spam. And I apologize for that. I can't do anything about it. It's just the amount of messages that come, they think that everything is now automatically spam. So please tag me in the server. That's the easiest way to do it if you want any direct question, let's say from me. But otherwise, moderator or admin, you can add, and any of us will be answering. So yeah. Um, then, yeah. By the way, once again to say. Central European time, so not summer zone, not Finnish time. The schedule is correct, but we are using set as a Central European time for making sure that whoever is checking and converting in Brazil, that they can convert it from there. So these are the times that we are using, but you in Finland, if you're in Finland, you know that's 1 hour ahead from Central European time. So this is a bit of adjustments to do. So because we want to make sure that others who are joining from other continents and countries to this jam, not just from Brazil and Finland, are also having easier time with the times to to navigate. But again, all of this is recorded. No stress, you won't miss anything. We will be sharing all the links. And yeah, now let's go through some practicalities. So both We Love Games and Finnish Game Jam have code of conduct, which are basically the rules of well behavior, meaning be nice. That's basically your Yanni to have anything to add here. So it's like be nice
Of
to each
course, the
other.
links are in Discord, so be sure to read them through. But like Natasha said, it's not that difficult. Maybe it can be sometimes that difficult, but be nice, be respectful, uh, take others into mind when you interact with them. Like like approach and do unto others as you would have done to yourself. I think that's the golden rule. Let's go with that. That
Absolutely.
goes a long way. So be respectful to your fellow human being. I think that's a good way to live.
Especially as this is a cultural exchange jam in a sense. Of course, quite many of like are not native in not just Portuguese or Finnish, even if they want to speak with the fellow team members in the same language, or English as such. So, like for example, neither Yanni or I am. We are not native English speakers. So basically, like we. So also keep in mind possible miscommunication due to languages. So feel free to again make sure that you are um, so keep asking. There's never no such a thing as stupid questions. Do ask, especially if something needs more clarification by any, also from the organizers, but as well from your team members, just to make sure that everything is clear and have that in mind because again, quite often just simply language can be a barrier, but at the same time, as long as people like it doesn't matter which language and how you mix it up. Like we usually make fun here in Finland using Finglish, as some stuff is in Finnish and some in English, and then as long as we get like what the other person is saying, it's all good. So that is the most important. Be nice. Let's have a good jam. That's the most important thing, and let's support each other in any and every way we can. So, about team forming. As mentioned, all of that will be happening in Discord. We are going to have a dedicated session for that. And there is a voice channel. So, this is where we will be in the main stage of the jam, like voice channel. That's where we will hop in, especially kind of if anyone has any questions or so. But otherwise, everything can be done also in team forming text channel. So, don't worry about that if you don't want to unmute yourself or discuss. Like again, chat is there, everything is fine. Like, and then what we are going to do with the once we have the teams, every team will receive both text and voice channel, and I will be asking about that. So you will get your own, let's say, space where you can work with your team within the Discord server, and that's fully your space to use as a team. So we provide that in a sense that everything can be in one place. And this is also quite simpler for us moderators that if anyone needs any assistance, you can call us, like tag us in your channel, and then we are there. Like, so we don't need to, because if you are somewhere else communicating outside of the server, for us it's hard to help in practice unless we can see. So this is why we encourage you. But of course, if you have your own tools as a team to use and you insist on doing it, we are not going to stop you. But this is where we will be, and we are responsible of what happens also in our server. So if anything comes up that you need any additional assistance, this is where we can help the most. And Discord moderation, once again, we are there. So please try to use Discord and interact with each other as much as you can. Um, and get to know each other, share your progresses and all that, screenshots, also all this kind of like the pain of game dev. that's that's gonna be the theme of the whole event, because that's kind of like, especially when everything will break the moment you're supposed to make a build. That's a classic.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what do you mean? It's always fun and games all the time.
Well, not totally. I mean, how I usually even say to my team, if there is a bug that, it's and but if it's like if you give it the name, it becomes a feature. So it becomes a pet.
Yeah,
So, just adopt it. Adopt it as a,
yeah,
now it's your pet, and now it gives you give it a name, and now it's part of
yeah.
it was totally planned feature. So yeah,
Yeah, you just make a ticket and then put it into the done.
yeah,
It's there.
exactly. As long as it doesn't break a game,
Yeah,
that's all you need. And then on the top of
exactly.
this, when at the completion of the jam, we will give opportunity to receive certificates by Finnish Game Jam and We Love Games. So there will be one certificate signed by both of our organizations, where we will be making sure there will be a form that we will ask you to fill, just to kind of, and there will be requirements for that to make sure that you have been actually participating in the jam, and the way to deliver you the certificate. So these will be digital format, so you can print them later. But the point is that we will deliver those in digital format. And then, as creme de la creme, something that is this whole event continues even in autumn time in its way, in a way, is that we love games international game developers conference, which is a hybrid event for the past 6 years. Even before COVID, we had hybrid conference in order to empower and include as many developers around the world, not just, let's say, in Finland or Europe and so forth. And in this conference, as it stands for like we as people, but also women and everyone of all backgrounds and interests and so on. So whoever loves and works in games or wants to work in games is most welcome. It's completely free to attend conference. And this is where we will be also having a showroom where the dedicated part of the showroom will be for the games made at this jam. So for those who want to continue to kind of a little bit polish or do something, you are totally allowed to do that until October. And I will be sharing the link to the We Love Games conference, but you also can just go with wlovegames.org and check all the stuff on the website there. However, this is something that we want to also highlight the results of this jam also in the upcoming conference, which is part of the Finnish Games Week as a big kind of weeks long event in Finland celebrating games, the excellence in games. And yeah, anything else? Janne, did I miss something?
I think we're missing the theme.
Oh, oh, ho, ho. Is it time for a draw?
Is
Drum
it that
rolls.
time? It's that time.
It is
I'm
that time.
tingling,
Oh my. Oh
slight
my.
tingling on
It is.
fingertips.
Oh, okay. So it's coming. Okay. Well, then let's do it. Without further ado, the theme of this year's Crossing Latitudes 2024 is Let's Feast. Food brings people together. So, the theme of this year's jam is related to food and food in a sense of culture exchange, but also this is what brings people together. And always, when you think about it, bring like getting to know some culture usually comes through food or sharing food or um, having this sort of like shared shared experience because feast now because Banyani and I were discussing this theme as we were preparing for this jam and saw the theme as well. We were also discussing like feast itself, like a
Mm.
celebration in itself is a topic of, of of its own. Like, and it can be interpreted in so many ways. I mean, sure, you can make a cooking game, you can make a making a party game, you can make a anything game, to be honest. Like, but yeah, food
Yes.
food is going to be a binding. Uh, oh, there's a question. Is it only one game allowed, or can it be more than one? Hey, if you think you can make many games, I made several games actually in one game jam. There were simpler ones, but there is no limitations. And plus,
Mm.
if some team members, this is very common also to say that some specific, let's say, like audio or music like composers and so on, they usually can work on multiple projects. So if
Mm.
you, or as an artist, if someone needs extra hands on, I don't know, I said audio, music, UI design, or any kind of UI UX, anyone needs help on some tweaking animations or whatever comes, please collaborate. So there is no limitations on how many teams you contribute to and how many games you make. There is no, so this is very common, especially for more kind of experienced jammers. This is what they usually do, that they help each other and make even solo project while they're working on someone else's project and so on and so on. So as
Mm.
a team and a solo, but yeah,
Yeah. And you could make like a mini game collection if you want to try out many things. That's also a possibility. Like the ball is yours. Like, the theme is one thing, but you can also try to subvert it. Like you are technically following theme, but you're like twisting it in some creative, original way. That's always pretty good. I think Samuli Jaskalainen was really, really good about this. He took the theme and then twisted it around and created something really, really unique and fun in this way. So
Absolutely.
be creative. And I would like to say that one really cool thing about the themes in general in game jams is that sometimes these kind of like restrictions, they are the source of creativity. When people are like forced to like you can only do these things, then that limited space gives the opportunity to create something new in a way that you didn't think of before. Like when you think about old consoles, you had technical difficulties, like limitations, and then people saw a way to get past them and then create something really, really cool that would not have happened if they were like freer to do whatever. So take the theme. It's not a restriction, but it shows you the way. So you can think about it this way, I think. I think it's really
Absolutely.
cool to think
And it
about.
can be, I mean, as said, this can just serve as an inspiration even for a game mechanic as such, not even the topic of your game. It can be, I mentioned the cooking game, but it doesn't have to be that you cook food. You might be doing some different kind of, who knows? I'm just like now I'm now I'm brainstorming as I
Jamming.
go. Like as we start thinking, immediately it can be just mechanic that you use as a kind of cooking mechanic, but it can be for whatever, or it can be yeah, anything, like literally. But idea of kind of like having something that brings people together, I think that is also, so yeah, it can be literally like a social experiment game.
Mhm.
It's got so many different ways you can take this. But yeah, again, inspiration, and if it happens that you completely kind of just have fun, make a game, don't overthink, don't feel pressured to also have it. Um, Even food related as such. This is just again inspiration and something that we thought would be. I mean, our team behind who was actually making the deciding on the theme that would be um, relatable. So yeah. So now we have a question. Does it need to have anything related with Brazil, Finland? No, no, nothing. It can be whatever you want. Like, of course, we are kind of like we are trying to like bring people together from especially kind of these sort of different cultures, but no limitations either in that way. It doesn't have to be. It can be from wherever. It can be full fantasy, obviously. Like most of the games are fantasy based on own universe, own world building. You can get inspired by some culture or inspired by, but it can be completely modified and adopted to whichever way you think is the it works your game. Yeah. So
Yes.
your game, your rules, your world, no limitations. As long as again, just be nice to each other. That's the only thing we care. That's kind of like make
Exactly.
have
Exactly.
fun, be nice to each other. That's all
Yes.
that matters, and the
Yes.
games will come from that.
Yes. And I think this time we will have many well done games, would you say? So funny.
I mean, this is, by the way, you will see throughout the stream. This is the level of humor we usually have, and like that is what we do. Yes, but yeah, it's gonna be well done games. And I'm sorry, I'm just reading the comments.
Yeah, yeah. I
So,
apologize.
no, don't you ever apologize. This is the level of yes. Um, So there is a question. Every team is going to Finland. Not really, no. I mean, that's kind of like we are going to have as a hybrid conference, everyone will be welcome and presented at the conference itself, and people are welcome to come to Finland, but we are not going to demand anyone to come. So everything can be done from the comfort of your home, even for the conference, even from wherever it is, because we don't want to make any inconvenience for anyone. Most important thing about this jam is that you get to meet people from each country or other countries. So as said, there are quite many from African continent, from the rest of Europe, from also Latin America, outside of Brazil as well. So just saying, like please meet each other, make games together, get these friendships going, because again, this is so many lifelong or lasting friendships have been made during the game jams, where the next time you travel or the next time you have all these people that you can meet and share more memories with. So yeah, that is super cool
Yes,
about the
definitely.
jams. Yes,
And of course, if you have like LinkedIn or some kind of other, and itch.io profiles, that's also one way to keep in touch. And like
absolutely.
share your LinkedIn, network, have fun, create like meaningful bonds and meaningful games and having fun and like these are like one of a kind experience. It's a unique experience. Now that you're here and you're doing this jam in particular, it's going to be unique because of the people and the theme and the time where we are. And then next
Absolutely.
jam is going to be totally different.
Couldn't say it better. Exactly. That's the point. And every jam is different. Every game made like it's all its own charm, and so many different things you end up even unplanned doing, meaning that you can think that, oh, I will do this and this jam, just like I would like to try this and that, and then suddenly you get inspired to do something else, and then with the team you get to do like so much more. So these are the beautiful things about game jams overall, and also why we as organizers do this, and also jam, because we will be also jamming at least to some extent. I mean, I'm also
Mm.
moderating. I have a lot of stuff during this weekend to make sure that everyone has all they need. But I will be
Yes.
jamming with my team, and we will be forming the teams as well now soon on
Yes.
Discord.
And also, I'm also still looking for my team. I can do a little bit of like part-time music thing. I'm still
Nice.
available, so hit me up in the server.
Yes, we are gonna do that next. So, any questions from the audience? Of course, we are going to slowly, since it's soon. We are turning to quarter to the hour, so I just want to also be respectful of everyone's time. Now that we have a theme, the next step is that we will be moving to the server, and slowly starting there to I will be also sharing links, sharing this theme, doing all of like this sort of moderating side, and then slowly we will start with team forming and doing all that discussion in the server, and shift there to the voice channel. So you can also, whoever wants to join, please join the voice channel. um, we are using mainly English in the common discussions, because of, again, like accessibility as such. If there is for need for specific Portuguese, we will make, or Finnish, we will make a separate channels for that. But just to say that, due to making sure that everyone can get uh, as much material as kind of common language, we are using it as uh, uh, and yeah. So there is a question. Um, what is Jam's opinion about AI art? It seems a bit cheating, but how do moderators see it? Um, as an artist from the industry, I will just give you, or Yanni, do you want to take that one, or should I give first
I
thoughts?
think I'm going to throw the ball to you
Okay. I
before
mean,
I say anything. Like because
okay.
I have been like part of jams that take like I can understand both sides.
Oh no.
So
So
I will let you answer
I just
first.
want to explain the AI art to those who don't understand the principles of it. So when it comes to this sort of like, of course, let's put it this way. Like, you need to be aware that AI art, like especially if you're creating with, and now it doesn't matter how many prompts you do, like different, if you take directly content from the AI tool, whichever tool you're using, it doesn't matter. Like, there's so many, so it doesn't matter. Even if it's paid, it doesn't matter. That art does not belong to you. Actually, currently by law, it is a public domain. It doesn't belong to anyone. So that means that you can't really claim that certain art style or something like that of that game is yours. So all the content in the game doesn't belong to anyone. So basically, by law, anyone can just take that and run with it if someone likes what you have and make something out of it.
Hmm.
So we are not going to, I don't see the reason that we would ban AI art, because if you use the AI art as glorified Pinterest board. Like you figure out the style, you do this, and then you do your own assets based on that. That is basically how most of the industry nowadays even uses AI art, mostly like a mood board and as I said, glorified Pinterest, like when you're figuring out with the kind of ideation side, but try to do your own creations, because the whole point of the jam is also that to create your own um, your own creations, whatever they are, doodles. Like, do you know how many coders decide to do art at the game jams? And these are the most beautiful creations you will never see anywhere else, and they are priceless. so, so this is something that I would highly recommend. That, but sure, if you really insist, be aware that it's an AI art, which doesn't like it is what it is. so
Yeah.
and
Would you
yeah,
say that it's similar to like hunting for like free assets that some jams do, like people like search for like placeholder assets or even final assets when they don't have enough people to, let's say, do art, and they go to
no,
open game art or
absolutely.
open
Like
art.
that's the thing. And there are jams actually nowadays that are really saying that please use AI art. Like that was the whole point, that
Mm,
you focus then on the design, for example, or some technical feature or something. It depends on the jam, because there are different jams with different purposes. And then they say, hey, don't overthink the art, or don't overthink the whatever, like take it from wherever. But
mm,
please be aware that when you are using the content, like again, uh, all the assets and the links we will be sharing are free domain that you can use, and these are all or being allowed to use at the jams and so on. So these licenses are basically public licenses that you have there are no restrictions for you to, let's say, release your game on itch or anywhere else. Um, Most of the AI, as it's public domain, there is no such restriction, but there is this sort of like it is very clear when it's AI art. So it's more a question of how others or the players will respond to your game. That's
mm.
more that happens in practice. Just again, I'm just openly speaking about kind of like what we have seen in the past. But if you want to use, again, we are not going to ban AI art, so it's up to you how you want to use it. But be aware of these just general ways of and limitations, and quite many things that AI art cannot provide. Um, so yeah, just wanted to kind of like, but of course, like case by case, like please don't, again, be nice and not to abuse any tool or any kind of approach. So that's also most important. That yeah, that would be. What do you, Yanni, think? Does that seem fair?
I think that's great. That's totally reasonable because, of course, generative AI is very powerful. It can generate a lot of things very quickly, and you can, like, if you have a good design mindset, you can ask good questions and get what you want and very quickly. And for a jam that has a lot of synergy, although I do understand the other point that okay, now you're not doing it yourself, so it kind of takes away from it. I think it's a trade off. I think in life there's always the equal exchange. You get something, but you lose something. So is it worth the trade off? No, now we're philosophical. But it's always everything comes with a price. I think
Yeah,
that's
I
the
mean,
thing.
pick your battles. That's what I usually even
Yeah.
say to my students. Pick the battles, like when it comes to even game designer. So if you're a solo developer, let's be honest, and you didn't find any assets in any of the packs, free packs or anything like that, and then you really need something and you find that like AI actually generates it, then use it. Like again, it's like the point is like it's a case by case, like and it's perfectly so pick your battles. Don't overthink things when it comes to like just make things, and if things click together, no matter how things are made. I mean, so many professional games are made with literally free assets to show how much creativity can be done with even basic, let's say, Unity assets that come with the unit. Like that's not, you don't even like even these that are within the actual engine, just there as even, let's say, placeholders. So
Mm.
just however you use it, that's the creative part and what you do with it. So yeah, like all the tools will be allowed, again, as long as it's not being used and abused by any means. And uh, just yeah, try to do your best with what you have. And of course, with your own team, you will be deciding this as a team. So yeah, so if you have, like, again, you have your artists in the team, let them work with let's say AI to say how they're going to integrate or what they're going to do and how they're going to use it. That's really on your team to decide. For example, if again, designer has very specific ideas and uses AI generated stuff to explain to artists what the vision is, there you go. That's basically, and then artists will take it forward. So up to you guys. We won't kind of like ban, but we just encourage you not to fully use it because we know how much talent there is, especially in art in Brazil and in Finland. So come on, like, we want to see that. We want to see you shine in your talent. And with that said, Yanni, shall we switch to Discord?
Yes, let's do
Let's
it.
do so. Awesome. All right.
Awesome.
So we're going to close the stream now, and I will be shortly sharing also this video and yesterday's pre-jam video, and also the theme and everything else in Discord. So we see on the other side. Thank you so much for joining this live session and all the questions, and you will see both of us soon in the server. Cheers.
Cheers. And let's have a nice jam.
Oh, yeah.